Welcome back, everybody. We're speaking to Brenna D'Amico. She's doing a very different movie from what we usually see her in, Night Night. It's available on video on demand and in movie theaters starting November 16th. Please welcome to the program, Brenna.
Hello, everybody. So good to be here. Thank you so much, Alan, for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure, and I'm used to you being the charming, smiley self, and that's a little different from what we're about to see in Night Night.
It is a little different, very different, but I'm very excited to have people see this different side of me as an actor.
Yeah, and I mean, we did see you as the mother giving birth on something serious in terms of a TV drama, which was a really, really nice scene. I enjoyed that episode.
Thank
It
you.
was good to see that dramatic part of you, which you do really, really well at. So, was it kind of an approach that you wanted to not get away from Disney because Descendants is awesome, and but to show a different part of your acting arsenal?
Absolutely. I think since I was young, I always thought drama was more my niche, no matter how much I do still love comedy and lighthearted work as well. But when I did do the guest starring role of being the pregnant teenager on Code Black, I just got a little taste of like raw, authentic drama and emotion. And I was like, oh, I love this. So when I read the script for Night Night, I was like so excited immediately.
Okay, interesting. So drama is more, I don't know if I'm going to say because who knows, right? We're all getting roles that we're getting, and then we have some choice in the matter. But drama is more of what you would like to pursue in the future?
Yeah, I really, really do. I think I might be better at it. Comedy's so hard for me, even though I love it so much. I really love drama, and this film was just so soul feeding for me to do because I got to play around with so many different emotions.
Well, I actually want to piggyback to what you just said because you said comedy is really hard for you. Comedy is hard in general. It looks easy, but that's the point. It's hard to make it that easy. But watching some of your demo reels, because again, I know you from Descendants, and then in prep for the interview, I watched some of your demo reels, and I was astounded because you're really, really good, and your range is quite wide. But I saw some of the, like you talking to a statue of a clown. That was wonderful work, and that's really, really good comedic timing. So comedy doesn't come easy to you?
Thank you. I try very hard to make it like look easy. But yeah, for some reason it's just hard to be funny when you're trying to be funny. And I think the thing I found is like as long as you believe everything single thing you say in comedy, even if it's like, one of the silliest lines, that's why it comes off funny, is because you're truly just believing it, you know?
Yeah.
I guess that goes for pretty much everything, but I guess it helps a little more in comedy for me.
Yeah, I was that same way when I started doing improv, and immediately the thought is I need to be funny. And it took about 3 months to get out of that mindset of no, you don't need to be funny. You just need to be, and then funny will come out or it won't.
Yes,
So that's it.
exactly. That was so well worded.
Thank you. So before we dive into the night night and some of the other questions I have for you, um, why acting? This is not the easiest industry to be in for many reasons. Why is it something that draws you?
Uh, uh, well, when I was younger, I wanted to do and try everything, every hobby, every sport, everything like that. And luckily, my parents were so amazingly supportive that they did let me try everything.
Hmm.
And they weren't the kind of parents that like made me stay in a sport or stay in a dance class when I didn't want to. They would just let me like quit whenever I wanted because they're like, okay, we'll move on to the next one. And then I did musical theater when I was 8, and I was like, this is what I want to do, performing. And I fell in love with it, and I did that for a few years. And then at 12, I was like, I kind of don't want to sing and dance anymore. I kind of want to just like, I want to act. So my mom got me a manager in Chicago who got me an agent in LA, and then it kind of just went from there.
Yep. Chicago. So that's where I am. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. So just a side note, I'm one of those parents where my kids have a really hard time quitting once they start something with me. I want to make sure that they really at least give it a fair shot and don't quit because it gets hard. That's
Right.
the part that I look out for.
Yeah,
Okay.
my mom and dad were like the same way, and like not to toot my own horn, but I was real good at sports. I was real good. So they saw that it wasn't because like it got hard. They just saw it's because like the kind of passion went away and I wasn't very happy doing it. So I think they made sure to look for that like fine line.
Yeah, and that's really where it is, right? So if it's a choice of, hey, I want to do something else, not because it's too hard or they're yelling at me and I need to quit. So yeah,
Right.
that fine line is there. Very cool. So in terms of night night, right? So it's a very difficult role. There is a lot of stuff that you have to go through. There are a lot of emotional works that you have to navigate. How did you find it as opposed to doing an episode on Code Black? How did you find a whole film in terms of, was it draining? Was it invigorating? Did what was the process for you?
Oh, what a good question. Um, I think on a show, because shows move so quickly, that when I did Code Black, I worked for about a week, and that was a very big rush of adrenaline, kind of first time filming something dramatic. But for Night Night, it was over the course of 30 days. And I really got to sit with this character, April Davis, for so long. And on the plane ride there to Texas where we filmed, I had a little notebook that I would write down every single thought that April would have, why she did the things she did, just because I needed to build a very strong relationship with April. Between me and her, that was the most important thing, to understand the emotions she was feeling.
Yeah. So in terms of your approach, you're alluding to aspects of it already, but there are some actors that are very method. For those who are not familiar, basically they become that character. There are some actors who really, I am that, and I associate with it, and then I get out as soon as I have a chance. Where on that spectrum would you be?
I think I always will have the mindset of like I don't bring work home with me. So I'll use some sort of method acting when I'm on set and only when I'm on set, not usually for auditions or self tapes. But just in the sense of maybe that being an hour of being in it or 3 hours of being in it. But I never really bring it home with me just because for my own mental state, I think that would be a very challenging thing to bring her home with me every night and
Yeah.
just sit with that. And I also couldn't because like me and the cast just loved each other so much. 12 hours a day wasn't enough on set. Like we'd go and just talk for hours and
Mhm.
hours, and so it was really really great with them too.
Yeah, just taking somebody, taking that type of a character and energy. I'm all about the energy of the character with you. Is hard. I literally, I did myself a disservice that I watched the preview before I went to bed last night. That was
No!
not a good idea. It was not a good idea. So, in terms of kind of swimming in those energies for a period of a month, how do you, because, women, when they do a role and it involves a lot of makeup, taking the makeup off and taking all of that is their way of getting back to self. What was it like for you of managing that energy and a lot of the heavy stuff that you had to deal with to get back to Brent?
Right, I think because like our crew was so amazing and I got so close with them, definitely the makeup trailer is kind of where I would decompress. I don't know if it was so much with the makeup and hair as it was with the wardrobe for me because we wanted to keep it very simple with the makeup because I did have to cry a lot in the film. And so just redoing that would have been like a lot of work and very time consuming. But when I took her clothing off, her nightgowns, her pajamas, her business suits, like that would kind of bring me out of her. So I think it had more to do with her clothing than makeup and hair.
Very cool. And then in terms of the crying that you mentioned, because that is hard. I'm an actor, and I know in some scenes it's just on, and it's this connection, and tears are flowing, and everything is wonderful. And usually those are not the takes that they actually they air. And then sometimes it just doesn't come. What is your process for making sure that you were on when you needed to be in terms of tears?
Well, little tricks is to always stay hydrated, drink your water. But I would say thinking about something sad that doesn't pertain to the character's life has never really worked for me. Like thinking about Brenna, like my dog dying a few years ago, or something tragic happening in my life in the past. That doesn't really get me emotional because I'm so in my character's thoughts. Why am I thinking about somebody? I'm in my head thinking as April, why am I thinking about somebody else's sad thing?
Yeah.
So I think I just dive so much into the moment and into filming and with my co-star, other partner in the scene, and so much of their thoughts, it just happens because it's a no-brainer to why she would be emotional. Now I have like this little switch that I've created because of Night Night where I can just, it's just for some reason there's a little flip back there and I can flip it on and off, and that makes me very happy. And when there's terrible, terrible days, you do have tear sticks and everything, but I hate using those because they are painful and they hurt very badly. And you put them right here, and it's like menthol burning your eyes. It was terrible. And I only had to use it once on Night Night because we did a scene for like 6 hours, and unfortunately, racking focus was accidentally like messing up like the box. It was not the AC at all. It was just not working for some reason. So we had to keep redoing the scene, and that's the only time I had to use a tear stick. And I was like, I don't like this. I was like, get it out.
Yeah, I use breathing techniques, so those would work, kind of just changing the cadence of your breathing, and your body knows, and it's the chemistry because your body knows that when you're about to cry, it's a normal process, so it's a muscle kind of a reaction. So I use those. I'm almost tearing up right now just from that to
I
breathing
see how
that
that
I did.
works so well. Yeah.
Yeah. So breathing worked well, but yes, I don't like the tear stick. It's not good, especially for my eyes. But yeah.
Yeah. It hurts.
Yeah. So again, back to Night Night in terms of the film. How happy are you? Well, I'll preface this by asking. Some actors love watching themselves on screen. Other actors absolutely refuse to do it, and they hate every moment of it. So which part of that spectrum are you on?
I think I'm like in the middle. I was really excited to see this just because it's so different from what I've done in the past. But I was so excited to see like my friends, the other actors in it. I wanted to see them. I wanted to see everybody's reaction to watching it. Not more so me, just because I'm so overcritical and like judgmental of myself when it comes to work, of course. I know we all are. But I was so like, oof, I'm so scared. I'm nervous, but I loved it. I really did, and everybody really loved it. And I think everybody did a fantastic job in this film.
Okay. And how did your family take it, watching you in this type of a role?
Well, my mommy watched it with me, and she like loves movies like this, so she loved it. But there is some scenes that I'd prefer my family not to watch, if you know what I'm getting at. So I made
Yep.
her shut her eyes in some parts.
Okay. Yeah. That'll be interesting once the movie comes out. There's going to be phone calls and yeah. One of my close friends from high school went to Hollywood, and then she did a film which was wonderful dramatic role, and it included some of those scenes. And we happened to watch it with her parents, and that was awkward.
Very,
Very,
very.
very awkward. But
Oh,
yeah,
please.
there was an experience I'm not sure I'll forget. But the the cool part of that experience, and this is where my second question comes in. There is at the beginning, that it's you, and then after whatever period of time, and that depends on how well things are done, you completely forget that it's the person that you know, and it's just the character. So how quickly is it for you that you're able to disconnect that part of the critical brain and just see the character for who they are?
I think it's a very it's I remembered when it happened. It was right after she yeah, April Davis like comes out of her coma from being in it because of the tragic accident in the beginning of the film that she's in. And
Mhm.
that's a trailer. I think before that I see myself a little bit, but
Yeah.
after she comes out of that, I start more just so seeing her instead of me. For
Yeah.
me, I think I always see me in there, but I think that's when it kind of switched.
Yeah. My wife can't watch me on screen. She's like, it's you. I can't tell characters. It's just you. I can't. So I don't know. Maybe I'm not as good of an actor as I think I am, but
Oh,
that's for her.
shucks,
She
no.
can
My mom
predict.
says the same thing. She's like, "That's you." I was like, "No, it's not."
No, it's April. What do you mean? Yeah, very, very cool. So, last thing as we get going, and I know you're busy, and I really appreciate you taking the time for this, but
Thank
What
you.
drives you? I know you want to do more drama. You're expanding your palette and letting people see your talent, but what drives you as an actress?
Oh, what a good question. I have gotten so many amazing supporters. I've gathered so many amazing supporters through the years. And I love that they feel comfortable enough with opening up and sharing with me that I've really helped them through really hard years of their lives, or um, that they just really love talking to me. And, I try to make a lot of time for them, and that I'm their escape. And sometimes when they have a sad day, they'll put Descendants on, or they'll watch my TikToks, or they'll go to my Instagram, and they'll just it brings them a smile, and that makes me really happy. So, and I'm the type of person that feels everything 110%. So I love being able to do dramatic roles where I can be somebody's escape and make people feel less alone in that sense. And I think that's what drives me, is like my audience, and also the just burning passion inside me to just want to play different people and read different things, and be somebody I maybe normally wouldn't be ever in my life. Like, I love that I get to do that.
That's perfect. Well, best of luck with the film. I look forward to watching it. I'm gonna do it very carefully to my emotional being, and then do cleansing after it, but I'll watch it. So
Thank
best of
you.
luck. Yeah. And thanks everybody for tuning in into another episode of Let's Dive In. Go watch the movie. It's available next week, and we'll post a link right below. Okay. Take care, everybody. See you.